Those are, you have a day like today. I mean, it's just tough. Tough for our team. We come a long ways. I mean, last year we played South Florida, didn't really, weren't real competitive against them. This year was a completely different game. Thought the guys came out strong. We've been talking a lot about starting fast. I thought they started fast. I thought we started fast. But it always come down to the finish. Made some critical mistakes there at the end of the game that allowed them to win the football game. As we go back and we look on it, as we go forward, there's a lot of things to like offensively. Of course, we want to establish the run. Thought we did that. Mike Epstein, second week in a row. And the rest of our offense, as far as running the football, did some good things. Passing game-wise, I mean, there were moments where you liked what we did passing game-wise. But you kind of dream of, a quarterback coming down to the last drive to win the game. MJ put our team in a position to win it. We just didn't finish it the way we will in the future. Defensively, it's always about taking the ball away. I thought early on, keeping my end zone, of course, taking a few of those balls away helped a lot. You look at the stats, of course, they had a lot of total yards at the end. But, until we start giving up big passing plays, we were in pretty good shape throughout. A couple of injuries, Dele Harding, Kendall Smith, we'll see exactly how bad those injuries are. But, again, games like this is tough. It's tough for our football team, but we'll learn from it. Quick turnaround. With Penn State coming into town and Big Ten play opening up Friday night. Take your question.
What went into the decision to go with MJ today over AJ?
AJ wasn't healthy. And guys, if we have a starter and he's not out there, I mean, when you pull a hamstring, you don't play the next week. It just doesn't happen that way. So hopefully he'll be in. He's making progress. We'll see how it goes this week.
What do you think of how MJ handled the week, how he handled just kind of being the starter, being the guy today?
I thought he handled the week well. I mean, that's his personality. I know he was pumped up about the opportunity. You're a freshman, get a chance to, make your first start. That has to be exciting, and it was. I thought he prepared well, but you still need to get to that first start. He'll play better his second start, but he did a lot of good things.
Throwing the ball away sometimes, moving on to the next down, one of the last things that comes for a quarterback. It seemed to be an issue with him.
Yeah, I think you can just group it, and it always comes down to decision making with a quarterback in general. Yes, there were a few we like for him to throw away, get rid of the ball. But again, you have to get through that first start. He did a lot more positive things than he did negative, but we'll need to clean that up.
Lovie, this game, it felt within grasp, and it felt like it could have been a big one for your program moving forward. Just how did your team react to it, and how do you guys kind of use this moving forward?
Well, going in, we had circled this game. This was a big game. I mean, it was, to finish up the non-conference schedule, on a high note against the team that dominated us last year, as we said. It was big. We're excited about, playing it here at Soldier Field. There's a lot of things on the line, but at the same time, it's one game. So we have to, after the hurt goes away, guys have to realize that. What you can't do is let one tough loss beat you the next week. So we'll have to move on against a, very good, Penn State team.
Well, we talked a little bit about, your defense is a little shorthanded still, but you had a couple guys come back. Just talk about how they did in the face of adversity.
We did have a few guys that came back. Larry Oladipo came back. He didn't finish, though, but Tony Adams got some good time in. As these next few weeks start coming around, we'll start getting more and more of our players back. So we're a little short-handed, but we were that way up until that last score that they had. So the guys that we had plenty of guys to be able to get the job done today.
Allowed around 600 yards. What do you think of the defense's ability, though, to bend but not break for the most part, only letting up 25 points?
Yeah, if you look at, the yardage, but, that's not how they determine the winner. It's about the score. And even with all those yards before we gave up that last big pass, we're in pretty good shape. So, yeah, you want to, I wouldn't necessarily say Ben, we want to keep them out of the end zone and take the ball away. Those are the two primary things we like to do.
Coach, I know you don't do moral victories, but
to see some positive improvement with the program. How do you build on that moving forward, taking from what you were able to do for most of this game?
Well, you're right. You don't. Don't talk a lot about a moral victory, but we just talk about what happened during the game. We're a better football team than we were this time last year. We see signs of what we can be. We're going to build on that. Again, a part of the growth is going through a couple tough losses and fighting through adversity and seeing how you respond to it. But I think, again, when our guys look at the video, we'll see what we can be and what we eventually will be this year.
Which I think back to a 2-0 start last year, giving way to a 2-10 finish. Now 2-0 start, you've lost one. But do you feel like you're far removed from that possibility?
Absolutely.
Are you improved enough that that's almost unthinkable?
You're thinking about it. We're not. You can't carry over anything from last year or 10 years from that. It just doesn't work that way. What we are going to look at this year is we played the same South Florida team, played them a lot better this time, had an opportunity to beat them. So our program, I think anybody watched the game today would say that this is a different football team. We're in great position to do some things this year. That's what we're going to take from this game.
On that last touchdown, was that just a missed assignment?
Yes, it was.
And your impression of the atmosphere here, were you disappointed that, there in the number of people in the stands?
When you go on the road, you never know what your crowd will be. We didn't play Memorial Stadium today for a home game, so I know that the fans that showed up, we heard them. From the first, when we got off of the buses, all you saw was blue and orange, and we felt them throughout. They did all they possibly could to help us win that football game, and we love the ones that showed up. We're going to ask even more of them to come back down to Champaign this week. We'll need them.
What kind of growth have you seen from this offensive line that we've created?
Well, I think you just look at the amount of yards we're able to get running the football. Today. That starts up front. So, we talk a lot about that group. That group's been together, throughout, fought through an awful lot. They're getting better. Still a young group. And I'm anxious to see the video, but the offensive line gave us a chance to win today.
Chase McLaughlin, hitting all 4 of his field goals. It's pretty automatic, but did you go to him maybe more than you wanted, just as far as USF?
Well, more than we had to. Well, in an ideal world, you want to score a touchdown as much as anything. But if you can't score a touchdown and we need to get points, it's good to know we have somebody that's been, he's been consistent throughout. So very pleased with what he's done when his team has called him to make a play, kick a ball.
Kind of sitting in the same spot you were last year after this USF game, but what's just been, what do you feel like is different maybe about this football team?
Yeah, I can't tell you about last year. Last year has nothing to do with this year. We played 2 games. We played pretty good. We played a 3rd game. We played good. Couldn't finish it. Next week we'll have an opportunity to. We don't go back 2-3 years. It has nothing to do with this football team right now.
What do you think about the poise shown by MJ on that last drive to get you guys in position for a chance to win the game?
Well, it's just that. He got our football team in position to have a chance to win it. And that's the exciting part. As your first true freshman, first start. So there's a lot to build on from that. So MJ did a lot of good things. Simple as that. He's going to be a good football player as we go forward. We'll be in a position again where we'll have a chance to finish it.
Coach, we talked about that last drive a little bit. After the catch, Ricky's catch on the sideline, the decision to spike on 3rd down instead of...
Yeah, probably looking at that again, probably would handle that differently in that situation. Simple as that.
Well, you said you expect some players to come back next week. Does that include the suspended players?
We'll be able to tell you this week. Just got a feeling eventually we're going to start to get guys back. How's that?
With this being such a young team, do you feel that you're progressing at a faster rate than you expected?
I wouldn't say faster. We are progressing at a good rate. A rate that we assume we would be progressing at as much as anything. Each week you should see improvement. I think we're seeing that throughout. But sometimes a few big mistakes can really, offset that a little bit. I think once we get through that, we're going to see that this team is getting better. And played 3 games, had a great opportunity to win all 3. And next time around, this game right here is going to help us next time around. We'll be in more situation on tight games, and this time we're going to finish it.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.